This is Distance from Center. I'm Horton. That
Trip.
is. We've been a little bit AWOL for a couple months. Want to apologize to the folks. It's my fault. Life changes, moving across the state. But we are back, and we just had the Hilltop Pro AM. Trent, what do you think of Hilltop, man?
Having been there a time or two, I mean, it's it was said to death over the weekend, but it's insanely beautiful. Aptly named Hilltop. It sits on the top of a hill, and it's just, I mean, it's that kind of place. It's one of those dream sites, if you will.
It's absolutely gorgeous. It's frequented by a number of the factory guys from the water ski companies up in Seattle that don't have their own lake. I think your people have their own pad, but for everybody else, I think they hang out at Hilltop.
Yeah, no, it's insanely nice.
So, starting with the ladies, pretty much weekend dominated by the big three. It's Regina, Whitney, Jamie. No disrespect to the other ladies, but it was pretty much first two rounds. 4 and 5 at 39 for all three girls. Second round, 4 and 5 for Whitney and Jamie, and then Regina broke through and ran a 1 at 41. Brings us to the finals, and it's pretty much that pecking order. Regina's always on top. Whitney and Jamie are both kind of at the peak of their game and just so close, but Regina's a step ahead.
Yeah.
What was your takeaway?
Yeah, it's that may be a little bit overstated, right? I mean, Jamie, 10 months ago won the World Championships, and Jamie won the the U.S. Masters that year. So no, I don't think that's quite fair. But 'cause again, if you go to the finals, Whitney ran 5.5 at 39, right? So, that's not even a step or a shuffle ahead, But I do get what you're saying.
You know what's interesting? I don't see how, but it was scored as 6 on the rule.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It was 6. No, it was 6. No continuation.
6,
That's
yeah.
exactly what it was, and that was the right score too. She got back with. It did look like she broke that gate buoy plane. So So even more to the point. I mean, the final was more tightly contested. There was probably the strange thing for me was there was just a bunch of young up and comers, the Allie and the Paige that didn't quite fire in the finals. Paige in the prelims ran 3 at 39 with a heck of a good start. So I know she went into the final with high expectations, given that she was as close to the lead as she was, and maybe that's kind of what got in the way. But awesome final, and again, even for Regina, there's nothing else as a ski fan you want to see than Regina sitting at the far end of the lake, knowing that she needs to run 39 for the win, she produced like she always does.
Right, and it's I don't mean to imply that. I mean, Whitney has been equal to or a third of a step behind Regina forever, and now Jamie Bull. If I want to watch the three girls, the one that I'm more interested to watch is actually Jamie, and she's. I mean, it could be anybody's game, all with slight advantage Regina.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, which brings us to the men. The Saturday, I thought, was one of the best prelims I've ever seen. The level of skiing was just wacky, and deep in the field, I thought people skied fantastic.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think probably the first one that grabbed hold of you would have been Stevie Island running that 3 at 41. Where you're just like, when he was, well, he's run some 2s, so it wasn't out of left field at all. But I mean, for the sort of the privateer guy, the up and coming guy, he didn't put up a score that you're like, he might have just made the finals. He put up a score that you're like, he absolutely just made the finals. So that was exciting right from the start.
Crazy. And then, there's a number of stories here, but what I really enjoyed was seeing Chris Parrish. I think he ran 2:39, both prelims in a row. I mean, 2 at 41, is that what?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
no
2 at 41, both rounds in a row. And I mean, if you've been around the sport long enough, you've got to love CP. He was clearly the best skier in the world, I don't know, 10 years ago, whenever it was. And he's not a spring chicken anymore. And to see him out there and to be firing on all cylinders and to be skiing so well and to look like the old CP, that really fires me up.
It was.
I love
it
that
was
guy.
fun, and like I was talking with him a little bit over the weekend. But leading up to and between rounds, he was just excited. He like you said. I mean, he was at a point in his career, he was as dominant as anyone has ever been. I mean, it was, in that you often wait for Nate to win. Right now, there was a time where you knew it was going to be Parrish who was either going to win or set a world record that weekend. And just again, he's a crowd favorite because he's just such a powerful skier and such a heck of a nice guy.
Right, and I'll squirrel on you here a little bit and say that when I'm talking about ski technique with people and people start coming up with squirrely ideas, I always say stop, go find some video of Parrish, watch how little he moves, how efficient he is, watch the way he skis. Even though he is no longer the best skier in the world, he is my ideal slalom skier. I mean, I know he's 8 feet tall and I'm 4 feet tall, but still, he's who I wish I skied more like.
Yeah, no, he's and watching him this weekend, that under the right circumstances, there's a 41 left in him before he's done.
Oh, yeah.
But then I think apart from that, I think the other one was Stephen Neveu, and eventually people are going to realize that it's not Neveu.
Neveu?
It's not Stephen Neveu. I heard it so many times on Dockside interviews this weekend. It's killing me. But Stephen Neveu, so radar skier, works with the team. He Mastercraft skier. He took a step, he took a step forward away from being a full-time skier into, he works in the oil and gas industry in Houston. So he's full-time guy, skis just a handful of sets a week, and the tear he's been on the last couple of weeks, winning the Curbs Cup, the Canadian Open, and then making the final here. All while getting engaged Saturday night before the Sunday morning finals. So that was 100%. That was one of the cool takeaways from the weekend too.
So let's clarify. He ran 39 all 3 rounds. Ran a 1.5, a 2, and a 3. Where do you run that 3? He ran that 2 in the finals and a 3 in the prelims.
Yeah.
So not a bad weekend for Big Steve.
Yep.
All right, and then, the regular guys, so the surprise of Saturday was Smith didn't run 41, made the finals, ran like a 4.5 in there.
Yeah, I think it's 4.5 even. I mean, he had a good prelims. It's not. I'm still not in the camp where it's like surprising when he doesn't run 41. Okay. But I know where this is going was obviously it's been the chatter since that day. Will running back-to-back 41s, running an amazing one, and then the following round running an even better one.
Asher, I'm such a huge fan of the guy. Those 41s, there's only a handful of 41s I think we've ever seen that are like absolutely, that are not Smith 41s, that are just like, holy crap, I don't know if I've seen it better. Maybe some old Parrish ones were that good.
You're true.
Maybe some Mapple ones were that good. But those 2 by Asher were astounding. Mm-hmm. They just look so easy. He's, as you've said to me many times in the last 12 months, he's changed a lot in his skiing, I think, and now that I've watched it, I agree. You watch how Asher comes out of 2.46 now. It used to be radical and big, and maybe he couldn't make as much speed leaving the ball into the wakes, and now it's calmer and he's actually getting more done. Is that kind of what you're saying?
I mean, he's found a way to lose less speed out of 2.4 with that sometimes huge turn that he has. And both of those rounds though, when he came out of 3 without, I was going to say doing too much, without moving in the wrong direction to try and create something that didn't need to happen. When he got to this, got to the center of the wakes, going from 3 to 4 on both of those passes, in my mind, it was like he did it. It's done. Because, sometimes when he gets those amazing starts, even when he gets a good 2-ball, it's like, okay, he tries to punctuate something from 3 to 4. And then he was just so confident and smooth. And it looked like, it looked like he cared a little less than I've seen other times, because he was just going to stick to his game plan. And it was awesome. It was exciting to watch. Really exciting.
And that brings us to our last skier to talk about for the prelims. You talk about Will staying calm. I see Fred getting ready to ski, and he's kind of Mr. Passion, right? I mean, he wears his absolute intensity for water skiing on his sleeve. I was worried that was going to eat him this weekend watching the webcast, and he didn't run a 41. He had it going both prelim rounds.
Did he ever?
But I thought he looked so good, so calm. He's that. I think as you look at the field, he's the guy that you say skis like a cat. Maybe we used to say that about de Gasperi, who has missed this weekend. But I watch Fred ski, and he stands on his ski a little differently. I mean, his posture's different. Maybe his mechanics are more similar than not. But I thought he looked just awesome this weekend. It just didn't quite happen.
Yep. No, I mean, it's a game of inches at that point. So, but no, he looked as good as always, for sure.
Right. So, you ready to talk about finals?
Yeah.
All right, finals. So, first of all, great to see, as you said earlier, Steve Island in there. That's fantastic. Soon to be Mr. Elizabeth Monavon. In there, ran like a 5 at 39 in the finals, which honestly, he's got to be walking on air. Who we didn't mention about the prelims, who also looked amazing? I love watching Cole McCormick ski. Mm-hmm. If you're going to go back and watch the prelims at home, take a moment and watch McCormick. I don't know what he's doing, but it looks good. So moving forward, all the guys skied. Everybody else ran 39 except for Steve Island. Brings us the top 3. Fred 3.5. Asher 4. Smith. It's like he woke up and it was a different day, and he went out in the finals and just made 41 look like, most people make their opener.
Yeah, no, he went back to video game mode.
Video game mode, right.
Every once in a while you see him on that line, and it's insane. Because again, he looked just fine in the prelims. He looked just insanely perfect in the final.
So we got a total of, counting the prelims and the finals, we have 3 scores into 43 with 2 different skiers. It's really a spectacular event.
It was,
spectacular.
Yeah, insanely good. And if you've done a tournament there, or maybe you could even sort of, it was mentioned, and sometimes you kind of feel like, oh, these are talking points, but it's absolutely true in that the effort that the organizers put on, and the local ski scene there, the support from that local club. It's a small crowd, but it's a feverish crowd. It's a passionate crowd. So there is something very special about skiing those tournaments up there.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Great ski club. It's Gordon's Lake. I've been there. It's one of the most beautiful lakes I've ever seen. It's on my short list of must-ski sites. Yeah, that club. I'm not going to start naming names because I'll miss somebody important. But yeah, 100% agree. Yeah. So, do you know where that leaves us on the
Pro Tour standings? So next week,
Pro Tour standings.
So we got 5 events left. On to California next. And this is kind of a fun run where these guys are just going event to event to event. It happens a few times throughout the season. So on to California next week at not Bakersfield. Where is that tournament? It's in Sacramento.
It's in Sacramento. It's at Shortline Lake. It's at Wilbur's Lake.
Okay.
Wilbush.
Yeah.
Wilbush.
So anyway.
And Detrick's Lake.
That's right, yeah. So top 3 right now. Nate Smith is currently in 3rd place. He's a fair ways behind Willie, like 180 points to Will Asher in 1st place at 341. But it stands Nate Smith, Freddie Winter, Will Asher in the lead right now with 5 events to go.
Interesting. Yeah, so next weekend is a must-watch. As with Hilltop, the conditions at short line should be spectacular.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. That, I mean, that's like, I've only skied there a handful of times, but it's insanely nice. And then on the women's side of thing, this top three is a lot closer. Allie Nicholson, just after she went on a tear in Europe, she's still in the lead with 250. Right. Jamie Bull, small, just an inch behind her, and Ali Garcia, who also went on a tear in Europe and made some headway on the other girls. She's in third spot going into California this weekend.
Okay, so Regina's not in that top three because she's got a day job and she stayed at home and
fewer
made
events.
Money.
Yeah, Regina's in fifth, Whitney's in sixth. But some of these domestic events will, everything will hash out a little bit in there. They'll have the opportunity to catch these girls if they can.
Right. And also to note is there will be jump. I confess I'm not sure if there's trick. I don't think so. But there's also men's and women's pro jump at Cal Pro AM. So again, another reason to tune in.
Yeah. Make sure you guys dial it in this weekend. It's another TWBC event, another pro water ski tour event, and this one's gonna be good.
I don't think so.
No TWBC.
I don't think so. No. I think somebody else is doing it.
Fail.
I think Kelvin's doing it.
Oh, that's good. Kelvin does a great job.
He does a great job. TWBC is awesome, but it's a project getting them there. I'm not picking on them, but it's there. If you want professional webcast, it's not free, and
they do an amazing job. But Kelvin Kelm actually works with TWBC, so he's honed his craft over the last 5-6 years too. So it'll definitely be worth checking out.
Yeah, no, don't miss it. Don't miss it. All right, my friend. Well, hopefully we'll be back in a week to talk about Cal Pro Am. I will be there taking some pictures and hanging out, and I wish you were going to be there.
Me too, but I'll be watching. We'll see you next week.